him being fixated on playing with that helmet, so much so that he's threatened to retire, etc., according to our very own Adam Schefter and others, saying he won't play without the helmet. He's challenged the NFL on this issue. He's hired an attorney on this issue. A decision from an arbitrator is expected this week regarding the issue. And I must say to you, ladies and gentlemen, what my hope beyond hope is. I hope that the NFL calls Antonio Brown's bluff. I wish they came out with a statement that said, I dare your behind to retire. You're a new fool. Hell you think you are. Must have lost your damn mind. I hope somebody tell him that. Because the reality of the situation is, he is on this particular situation. I am not going to be one of those that uses this as a license to piggyback over all things Antonio Brown, the Facebook post in the locker room in the midst of Mike Tomlin after a playoff victory over the Kansas City Chiefs in their locker room, literally imploring guys not to be on social media, but Antonio Brown's got his coach on social media. I'm not going to go I'm not going to go into all of that. I'm not going to go into the distractions that he caused last year, at least played a part in causing with his beef with the Steelers because he wanted a new contract and money, or his desire to get out of Pittsburgh and not play alongside Big Ben Roethlisberger anymore. I'm not going to get in any of that. I'm not going to get caught up in that. Instead, what I'm going to say to y'all is simply this. This particular situation, I'm only talking about this, is so petty, is so egregious in terms of Antonio Brown's behavior. I wish the NFL came out with a public statement and said, we dare you to retire. Go ahead. Who the hell do you think you are? This is the NFL. You better kick rock, sit your behind down, get your behind back to Oakland and get on that damn football field. That's what I wish somebody would tell them.
And then there are narcissist divas, and that is what Antonio Brown is.
Antonio Brown just wants to make a big deal about himself on Hard Knocks.
The Pittsburgh Steelers look genius because this guy is certifiable. He's going to bypass $30 million guaranteed because of a helmet. We're talking about legitimate crazy pills.
At the end of the day, you trying to fight this fight is like trying to use Instagram on a flip phone.
The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Stephen A. Smith Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line.
Minutes past hour number 1, back here in the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Commercial insurance through Progressive protects your business and your dream. Choose from over 30 coverage options at progressivecommercial.com. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Give y'all some insight, share with y'all some of the arguments that me and my producers were having during the break. I have several producers, 3 of them basically, Jonathan Winthrop, Nuno Texiera, and obviously Kat Pastor. Kat Pastor is of Russian descent. Wonderful, wonderful young lady. But you know what? She tries to hide something sometimes. She's crazy. I love it. I say that in an affectionate way. Nuno Texiera, I don't know whether he's Mexican or Portuguese. I still don't know. I don't know what he is. He still hasn't told me. I can't figure it out, okay? I just know he's smart and he knows what he's doing. And Jonathan Winthrop, well, you know, he's a white guy, very nice, crazy, but he's absolutely insane. And I think that he just says things, he's like the Jerry Springer of radio, for crying out loud. Some of the stuff that he says, like, Steve, I really don't know why you're discounting the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, they're really bad. Oh, stop it. I'm not sold on the Chargers. Phillip Rivers is a hell of a quarterback. I think his time is come and gone. I'm sorry, I just do. I don't blame Melvin Gordon for getting that message. I'll put that back up on the screen. But I don't blame Melvin Gordon for holding out trying to get his money because I don't think he has any leverage. I don't think he'll succeed. But I don't blame him for wanting some money now. But I'm just not sold on the Chargers. Chargers don't move me. Not when you got Dre Bosa on film literally asking Tom Brady, could you do me a favor, please, and stop getting rid of the ball so quickly? And just on the sideline during the NFC Divisional Playoff game, he's great. I mean, he's just great. I don't know what you want. Really? I mean, I know it's true, but damn. Could you wait until after you lose officially instead of talking like you lost while the game is going on? I'm not sold on the Chargers. I'm just not. I told y'all before. People talking about there's going to be an all-LA Super Bowl last year. Hell no. It's Southern Cali, baby. You got to be supremely talented, above everybody else in the sport of football. Because guess what? The road to prosperity, they lucky the New Orleans game was in a dome. What if they had to go to Philadelphia or someplace like that outdoors? I don't think the Rams would have handled their business. Now, Aaron Donald is in a class by himself. He's in another stratosphere. He's all world. He's the real deal. But I'm just here to tell you, outside of that, I mean, they got talent to keep Talib and those boys. I know that. Nicole Roby-Coleman, you famous for a pass interference you got away with. But you got schooled by Edelman in the Super Bowl. I'm just not sold on the Los Angeles teams, even though I think the Rams got a chance, but certainly not the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers are better than Kansas City. I don't think they're better than New England. I don't think they're better than Pittsburgh. I really don't. I don't think they're better than Indy. I know that Peyton Manning's in the news. I'm sorry, not Peyton Manning, but Andrew Luck is in the news. Because guess what? Andrew Luck, he's got some leg issues. We thought it was the calf, and now Jim Irsay, the owner for the Colts, has gone on the record talking about he's got a leg issue, a bone issue in his leg, rather. So we don't know about the health of Andrew Luck. But I would remind y'all, this same Andrew Luck that missed the entire 2017 season came back last year, threw for 4,500-plus yards, was second in the league with 39 touchdown passes to Patrick Mahomes' 50. Fantasy football lovers got him as arguably the number one quarterback that should be taken. Your quiet Funches from Carolina, who's a big target. You got this rookie, what's his name, Paris Coleman or whatever his name is. You got a couple of tight ends you can lean on and rely upon, and an offensive line that's rife with a bunch of rough riders whose primary job is to protect your well-being, which they did last year. Y'all can sleep on the Indianapolis Colts if you want to. I'm not. I think they got a shot. I really, really do. And I want the record to show that. 888-SAY-ESPN, that's 888-729-3776. The other thing about getting back to Drew Brees, because see, immediately, and I reserve the right to change my mind because the regular season game hasn't even been played yet. I reserve the right to change my mind. Let me say this. I look at a Drew Brees, last 4 games of the regular season last year. It's hard to read this thing, this damn computer. It's like the lights in there or something. But he completed about 69% of his passes. Now, people are talking about Drew Brees like the last 4 games of the regular season. I mean, stop the presses. He was awful, Steven. He was awful. This is what Drew Brees did the last 4 games of the regular season. Games in which they went 3-1, by the way. He completed 69% of his passes. 69. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, very pedestrian. We get that. Quarterback rating of 84. Ladies and gentlemen, he completed 69% of his passes. And these people are acting like, oh, my God, stop the presses. He was awful. In a loss to Dallas, which shocked the world, they lost 13-10 at Dallas. He only completed 18-28 passes. That's for 127 yards. The last 3 weeks against Tampa, Carolina, and Pittsburgh, games in which they won, he threw for 201, 203, and 326 yards. He completed 77, 65, and then 69% of his passes. And that's everybody's definition of a guy that tailed off in the last quarter of the season. Y'all are smoking something. Y'all are just simply smoking something. This is Drew Brees we talking about here. Now, am I going to sit up there and put him above Aaron Rodgers, that bad man? No. But show some damn respect. They just signed Michael Thomas. They still got Alvin Kamara. They still got Drew Brees. They still got Sean Payton. They still play half their games at the Superdome, the Mercedes-Benz Dome. What's the problem? If New Orleans can have a successful regular season and get home field advantage again, I think they're going to the Super Bowl. I think Philly's a threat. Dallas is a threat. Can't dismiss Chicago with that defense. And the fact that Matt Nagy is determined to find a field goal kicker now. Can't ignore Atlanta with that high-powered offense. Mohamed Sanu, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley with Matt Ryan throwing them the football and Devontae Freeman back. They damn well better have a high-powered offense. And you don't expect 8 guys to end up on the IR list at the end of the season like they did last year in Atlanta. Seattle with Russell Wilson. They're giving him $35 million a year for a reason. But New Orleans certainly look like they should be one of the favorites. That's just me. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Ryan, talk to me.
Stephen A., I absolutely do not think that the Cowboys should buckle on Zeke because running back is the most replaceable position in football. And don't get me wrong, I understand how great he is. But if you look at the past couple of years, Le'Veon Bell has great numbers 2 years ago, sits out a season. James Conner puts up very good numbers on a team with a good line and a good wide receiver. You look at the Los Angeles Rams. Todd Gurley has a great season. He gets banged up. C.J. Anderson carried that team through the playoffs. Now, if Amari Cooper wasn't in Dallas, I'd say break the bank for Zeke. But now that Amari Cooper is there, they got a great line. Now they got a wide receiver that demands respect. I do not think that Dallas should break the bank on,
hey, Ryan,
on Zeke.
Are you ready for this? I think I got an even better argument for your point than you do. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Running backs. The last time a leading rusher won a Super Bowl, who was that?
Emmitt Smith, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was Terrell Davis for Denver, 1998.
Wow.
Emmitt Smith before that. Other than that, Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson, the list goes on and on of guys who ran the football exceptionally well, even guys going back to the Priest Holmes of the world with Kansas City and stuff. You have leading rushers all over the place. It never manufactures itself into a Super Bowl. Usually it's the quarterback that does it for you. And that's another reason why you take care of Dak before you take care of Ezekiel Elliott.
And I would agree that you have to sign Zeke if that team wasn't built the way it was built. With that offensive line, now you got a true number one receiver. You don't need a guy of Zeke's talent to be effective in that backfield because the rest of the team is so good.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Back with more of your calls in a minute. Plus, I'll transition to some NCAA talk as well in hour number 2. Get that Rich Paul rule. Agent for LeBron James, CEO and founder of Clutch Sports. Obviously, LeBron James, when the NCAA came down with a ruling last week talking about it would be required that certified agents have a 4-year degree before being able to go after some of these collegiate athletes. Rich Paul spoke out against it. LeBron James spoke out against it because he thought it was a direct assault against his guy. Rich Paul, well, the NCAA turned around, modified that rule, omitted the requirement of needing a bachelor's degree in order to be a certified agent. You just need to be in good standing with the National Basketball Players Association. So we'll get into all of that as the show progresses today. Stick around, don't touch that dial. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, if you missed any of my opening segment, go check it out on demand in the Stephen A. Smith Podcast. Brought to you by the Capital One Quicksilver Card, earning unlimited 1.5% cash back on every single purchase, everywhere. Hey! What's in your wallet? This show and all of ESPN is streaming live